About this book. This book is structured as a guided reflection, a map of sorts, through three intertwined states of being: integration, disintegration, and reintegration. Each chapter explores one of these states through lived experience and social context, blending psychological insight with personal narrative. You'll find ideas drawn from thinkers like Durkheim, Erikson, and Frankl, alongside grounded everyday language that keeps the theory human. The rhythm follows a simple pattern. Number 1, the weight of the world, understanding the pressure we carry. 2, the layers of integration, uncovering the connections that hold us. 3, disintegration, what happens when those layers fracture. 4, reintegration, how we rebuild, one honest act at a time. 5, carrying the torch, learning to keep that light alive. At the end of each chapter, you'll find a few short reflections, part question, part practice, designed to help you integrate the ideas into your own life. There are no right answers here. The only invitation is to notice, to act, and to stay. So take your time, read at your own pace, pause when something resonates, and if this book leaves you with a single thought, let it be this: you are not alone in the work of finding your way back. Disclaimer: the reflections and ideas shared in this book are based on personal experience, study, and observation. The author is not a licensed healthcare professional, and the content presented here should not be taken as medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. If you're experiencing distress, mental health challenges, or thoughts of harm, please seek professional support. In Australia, you can contact Lifeline on 131114 or Beyond Blue on 1300 224636 for free and confidential assistance. This book is intended to encourage reflection and conversation, not to replace professional guidance or care. Choosing care over collapse. Integrate or disintegrate. Author's note. When I first began writing Choosing Care Over Collapse, I didn't set out to produce a polished essay or a philosophical statement. It began as more of a personal reflection, an attempt to make sense of what I was seeing around me and within myself, drifting apart with a lack of connection in a world that felt increasingly fragmented. What you'll be reading is less of a lecture, even I don't like those, and more of a conversation, one that begins with honesty, not certainty. My goal isn't to prescribe a solution, but to explore what it means to stay human when the world stretches us in different directions. I've written this as someone learning, stumbling, and trying to find meaning in the process. This book is for anyone who has felt the slow weight of disconnection, who has watched the bonds of self, family, or community fray and wondered what comes next. I hope that you'll read this not as just words on a page, but as an invitation to pause, reflect, and connect with what matters most. Because integration isn't about perfection. It's about remembering that even in moments of disintegration, there's always a way back. It just requires small steps of faith. Yours truly, David Schroers. Chapter 1. The Weight of the World. The pressure beneath the surface. There's a weight to this world, a pressure that builds quietly at every level until we're left breathless, backs against the wall. You can feel it in yourself and see it in the people around you, this burden of reality that presses down until the ache reaches the depths of your being. In a time where almost everything is questioned, deconstructed, and re-examined, we find ourselves caught in the crossfire of a radical reimagining. We shed old illusions, hoping to uncover something truer, yet often end up adrift, wondering whether the dream of better is just another mirage. Was our design ever meant to be perfect? Or are we chasing ideals meant only for debate halls and think pieces? When everything familiar breaks down and nothing stable remains, we're forced to face what happens when meaning itself begins to fracture. Facing the numbers, feeling the names. In Australia alone, more than 3,000 people lost their lives to suicide last year. Behind every statistic is a brother, daughter, friend or colleague. Chances are you already know somebody touched by it. Here in Victoria, those numbers rose again, a 6% increase. And if you include the tens of thousands who attempted or planned, the hundreds of thousands who thought about it, you start to see what sits quietly beneath our polished surfaces. It's tempting to look away from those figures, but they reveal something deeper, a collective ache, not simply a lack of support or resources, but something more primal, a collapse in connection, the quiet erosion of connection. Sociologist Emil Durkheim once warned of anomie, a state of normlessness that sets in when society loses its shared values. Psychologist Erik Erikson mapped how relationships shape identity across life stages. When those bonds weaken, confusion seeps in. When they hold, we grow. Their ideas echo louder today than ever. The thread that ties us to meaning seems to be fraying. Self from family, family from community, community from something larger. Integration, then, is something more than belonging. It's the felt sense that our inner world fits, somehow, with the outer one. When that fit dissolves, isolation moves in. A shared humanity. This isn't about judgment or blame, it's about recognition, about seeing the urge to disconnect, to step back, shut down, or stop caring, is something almost everyone wrestles with at some point. Maybe the goal of life isn't to win. Maybe it's simply to stay in it, to keep showing up, however imperfectly, and to find meaning alongside others who are trying too. Viktor Frankl wrote, "When a man has a why, he can bear almost any how." So, if you find yourself caring more than you can explain, perhaps this is the question worth holding. What's my why? Reflection prompts. When was the last time you genuinely connected to yourself, another person, or a purpose? What weights in your life feel self-imposed, and which belong to the world around you? If integration begins with noticing, what's one small area of your life that could use your attention right now?